All right, started recording. So tonight's call is going to be a focus. It's going to be a dose of tough love that I got from Keisha Fitzgerald by being in her group, The Collective. If you haven't looked into that, Christy's talked about it a lot, and I shared it in the team page recently. It's $10 a month. If you're looking for something that is like consistent and a little bit more than a podcast, she literally sets up like a flip chart and writes on it, and you take notes, and she's got worksheets she makes that go along with it. It is really thorough and much deeper. Like, I love her podcast. I love Rachel Hollis's podcasts. Some of the stuff that I'm going to talk about tonight is coming from those things because they've really been speaking to me. But this is like leveling up a little bit. It's kind of like when we go to Summit and we're all taking notes in the little workshops that we're in because it's so applicable. That's what Keisha's Collective is like. It's stuff that you can take and kind of marinate on it and then actually implement. Whereas sometimes a podcast is just really encouraging and uplifting and motivating and or inspiring, which we all need that too. That's part of personal development too. But this is something that you actually like, you do a little bit of work with it and you leave with something physically in your hands that you can put to use. Kind of like what teachers call these kind of workshops are make and take workshops. Like, we actually go into the workshop and we create like a lesson plan that we can bring back to our classroom and immediately use. That's kind of what the Collective workshops or videos that she does reminds me of. So one of the videos for this month that really spoke to me was on embracing change and navigating uncertainty, which I think right now in our world is huge, right? But also the things that she went over, I was like, oh wow, this isn't just like a coronavirus thing. This is like, I can pick 5 different ways this applies to my life right now in this moment, and things I need to do to get out of stage 1 and down to stage 4, which is action. So I wanted to share this with you because, in my opinion, a lot of us are stuck in stage 1 and stage 2 right now in regards to our business or in regards to the coronavirus or whatever it is that you've got going on in your life. And we have to figure out what stage we're in and how we're going to get past that stage to get where we really want to be. Because I have people coming to me almost every single day saying, I want something more for this business. I want to start being consistent, or I want to, I really want to focus and start doing this before my husband and I do this, or before I allow myself to do this. Like, we have these things we really want to do, and we're stuck in this stage of change that's not allowing us to do it. And it's a mental thing. It's not because we don't have the tools right here at our fingertips. It's not because we don't have time. And it is not because we don't have resources or support or whatever the excuses are, right? It is because we don't have the mindset that we need to have in order to get there. And I also got to watch a lot of the RISE conference, the virtual RISE conference. And I'm going to tell you, almost the entire conference, every single speaker spoke about mindset to some degree. So, because mindset, especially right now, is going to be the end-all be-all determining factor in what we accomplish. It is going to be the thing that either keeps us stuck or propels us forward. And so we're in control of that. If you're not doing anything right now to improve your mindset or to work toward a growth mindset, then you're not doing anything to get you where you want to be. When you come to me and say, I really want to be making this much money a month. Okay, what are you doing to make yourself believe you're worthy of that income? What are you doing to make yourself believe that you are capable of producing that income? That you have what it takes, that you deserve it, that you are just as qualified as the next coach on Instagram. That's my question to you. And it's about showing up in the team page, showing up on team calls, showing up for your brain. We all know, because we've all experienced some type of fluctuation in our routine and in our habits and what's the word I'm thinking of? Discipline throughout quarantine, right? All of us have had some type of struggle throughout quarantine. And we either can stay in the struggle or we can acknowledge the struggle and fix it. And the only way to do it is with mindset. We all have the same tools. We all have Beachbody On Demand. We all have the team page. We have the team calls. We all have the Ultimate Portion Fix or To Be Mindset. But not all of us are actually opening it up and using it. Not all of us are pushing play. Not all of us are opening up the recipe books or opening up the app on our phone and tracking what we're putting in our mouths. Some of us probably recognize the fact that we're drinking way more than we normally would. But we're not, I am for sure. And I mean, not to a point where it's like I should be concerned for myself, but definitely more than I did 2 months ago. But we're aware of this, and I'm going to talk you through these 6 stages of change that Keisha spoke about. And I want you to try to figure out like the one thing that you're really struggling with right now, or the one thing that's changing for you, or that you want to change, or that's like uncertain or unknown to you right now. I want you to try to figure out what stage you're in, and then try to figure out how to get yourself going to the stage you want to be at. And I'm gonna share the stages with you and then talk you through what hit me while she was saying this. I watched this video a couple weeks ago, about 2 weeks ago, and it was at a time when I was really struggling with my nutrition. Bad. And I had gained like 12 pounds during quarantine. And so it was really, really like hitting me hard. So one of the things that she said in the very beginning of the call was, it doesn't matter what is going on in the world or anywhere around you. Like nothing that's going on matters. You can still control you. You cannot control when school opens back up. You cannot control when the gyms open back up. You can't control when you're going to get out of unemployment and get a paycheck. You can't control any of that, but you can control how you respond to all those things. And that's what we need to realize. I for one, because of my anxiety, struggle majorly when I don't feel like I'm in control, which is a huge mind game for me in and of itself, because we're not in control. We know that. There is a much more powerful, higher being than us that is in control of all of this. And no matter how in control I feel, I'm not in control. I'm never going to be in control. But there are certain things that we are able to control in our little bubble, okay? So regardless of what we see on CNN or what we see on Fox News or what the governor's saying in his nightly speech, we have to focus on the things that we are in control of. Maybe it's time for you to turn those things off. Maybe the time, like I think Lindsay Wiley said that they all sit down every night and watch the governor's speech every night. I can tell you, if I did that, it would be very bad for my mental health. I don't do it. I listened to it one time and I shut it off about 15 minutes in. And it was when they started talking about schools, and I just made the decision right then and there. I'm going to stay informed. I want to know, what I need to know, but I don't need to know everybody's opinions. I don't need to know all the fear mongers that are out there and all that. I don't need to know it. You don't either. So if it's not helping you, turn it off. If watching CNN was something that you guys do after dinner before you go to bed, maybe now you need to put a podcast in your earbuds. Maybe you should plug into the team page and do a power hour with someone. Make it a productive time. Make it something that's going to benefit you mentally and business wise, financially. So these are the 6 stages of change. The first stage is the pre-contemplation stage. So this is the stage where like maybe you've thought about it, maybe it's crossed your mind, maybe you've heard someone talk about it. For me, this stage with my nutrition was, I've heard a lot of people talk about intermittent fasting. I've heard a lot of people like have great success with tracking their food or counting their macros. Like I've heard all these different things. And so in the pre-contemplation stage, I was like, I've got lots of options. Like I have a certification in nutrition and wellness. So I know what I need to do, but that's where that stage ends for me. Like that's all I did. And I stayed in that stage for a long time, much longer than you would think, because it was like, I know I need to stop doing this, but I don't want to. So I just stayed in the pre-contemplation stage. Like I didn't want to stop having ice cream every night after dinner. I didn't want to stop having a bottle of wine, you know, over the course of 2 nights. Or I didn't want to stop having my White Claws every Saturday and Sunday, or Friday and Saturday, whatever. Then the second stage is the contemplation stage. So this is where things get a little more thought-provoking. This is where things are like, okay, so if I choose to do this, what avenue am I going to take? So in terms of my nutrition, in the pre-contemplation stage, I knew I had all these options. In the contemplation stage, I was like, well, I could do intermittent fasting and this could be my window. Or I could just open up the Beachbody Nutrition app that I already have on my phone and start following the containers because they worked for me before and I have all the tools right there at my fingertips. Or I could do the macro thing, download MyFitnessPal and start figuring out macros, which if I do that, I have to learn something else in order to make it happen. Or I could do this, this, and this. So I'm actually thinking like, which plan would be best for me? What am I going to do? So if you're thinking in terms of your business and you're going through these stages of change right now and you're trying to figure out a way to make your business more fruitful, maybe you want more volume, maybe you want more Success Club points, maybe you want to grow by 2 coaches this month, whatever it is you're trying to do. The pre-contemplation stage is you just like seeing other people do it and thinking, yeah, I'd like to do that too. I'd like to see that happen. Maybe it's even sending me a text message like, I would really like to be able to pay for daycare completely with this check and not go anywhere else, you know, not get out of my other check for daycare. Okay, so you're pre-contemplating. The contemplation stage is, okay, well, I guess I need to find a success partner and I need to probably start getting on team calls and maybe filling out the Success Club tracker, the business activity tracker that's already provided for me because it's there. Like there's not a lot of work I have to put in yet. That's the contemplation stage. The third stage is the preparation stage. So this is where, you know, you've heard about it, you've thought about it, now you're actually going to put a plan into action to make it happen. So for me with my nutrition, I set myself up with a success partner for my nutrition. I realize this sounds absolutely insane to some of you because I'm a coach. I should know, I do know what I need to be doing. I also have my nutrition and wellness certification, so I'm very educated as far as all the dietary needs and everything are. But I do not have willpower. I don't. And because I don't have willpower in a time where I feel out of control, I have to have someone hold me accountable. And a lot of times as coaches, you may feel this way sometimes. A lot of times as coaches, we have like this level of authority that I think other people give us. It's not this level of authority that we give ourselves. Like we know we're not perfect, but because other people see us and put us on this pedestal, they kind of think, well, no one needs to check in with Lindsay. She's got her shit together because Lindsay is the one who was this, or Lindsay is the one who shows up on my Instagram stories every day doing her workout, or, you know, this person does this. Well, I'm going to tell you, when I'm showing up on Instagram stories, I'm not sharing a picture of the ice cream I eat after dinner every night. I'm sharing the nice picture of the salad I made for dinner, but I'm not sharing the stuff I don't want you to know about. I mean, because I don't want someone to call me out on that. So I talked to someone. I actually hired myself a success partner, you guys. I knew I was at a point where I had to level up. And so I have hired someone to be my one-on-one for June and July. I've already paid her. And every night I am sending her a screenshot of my nutrition app. And I got real with her. I was like, I think I know the problem. I think I'm drinking too much. I think I'm having a glass of wine every night with dinner. And I know one glass of wine with dinner is not bad for me. But I also know that alcohol slows down your metabolism. So if I'm having a glass of wine with dinner every night and I didn't have one but like once or twice a week 6 weeks ago, that's part of my problem, why I'm not burning the same amount of calories. So I just had to level up with her, and we got on a one-on-one call and I was able to do it. This was all preparation. It is not June yet, but I am ready. And I've already started putting some of the habits into practice because I want this change in my life. I want to feel good in my own skin. I want to be able to walk into my closet and pick whatever I want to wear. I want to look fit and athletic and strong. I don't want to be skinny. I don't care if the scale doesn't move at all. I just want the other things. So I'm no longer just thinking about it. Now I've put a plan into place. Haven't actually started the plan, at least not in its entirety, because I know myself well enough to know if I go all in right away, I'm going to sabotage, because I can't say you're not allowed to have this and you're not allowed to have this and you're not allowed to have this, because by day 4 I'll be like, well, screw it, I'm having all of it. And it's the same with our business. So we see other people hitting these successes or these accolades and we want them. We start to think what avenues we want to achieve. Like, what does success look like in our business for us? Now it's time to prep. What are the things I need to get together? So I'm literally reading you this from my business activity tracker that Lindsay Wyvie made for us. When I sit down and do a podcast or a training, I have this with me to take notes in it because it's all connected month by month in here. I'm tracking who I'm inviting. I'm tracking what things are happening right here in this book, along with taking my notes. This is the preparation stage. You can't just say, I want this to happen because I saw Christy do it, so I'm gonna do what I need to do. You have to have a plan. You don't walk into a classroom without a lesson plan, because it would be a disaster. And then you don't walk into a classroom with a backup in case your lesson plan flops, or with something extra in case the kids blow through it way faster than you expected them to. Preparation might be the most important stage of change. The 4th stage is the stage that I think most of us struggle with. It is really easy for us to do 1, 2, and 3. The 4th stage is action. It was a hard pill to swallow for me to say to myself, it's time to level up and pay somebody to be your accountability coach and be your one-on-one, so that you can check in with them and they're going to call you out on your BS when you're BSing them. They're going to see it right away. If they don't hear from you for a day or 2, they're going to call you out. They're going to say, Lindsay, where are you? You know, they're not going to be nice, because they're not here to be your friend. They're here to be your coach. They're here to help you achieve what you want to achieve. And I'm sorry, guys, none of you are going to achieve what you want to achieve if you want me to continue to just be nice to you. One of my biggest flaws as an Enneagram 2 is I walk on eggshells around you when it comes to conflict or hurting your feelings. That is one of my biggest character flaws. And I recognize that. So I am trying really hard, with a heart full of love for you and with a whole lot of grace for all of us, to say to you, it is time for you to stop wanting, to stop wishing, to stop dreaming, and to get your shit together, prep, and do. Because wanting, wishing, dreaming, comparing, you know, seeing what someone else is doing and saying, oh, I could never do that, or I could do that, or I wish I was them. No, that I'm sorry, you got to stop. You are wasting time doing that. And it serves you no good. In fact, if anything, it probably takes you down a couple notches in the steps to change. You've really got to take in control what's in your control. I don't control what Christy's doing in her business. I don't control what Jen or Carissa or Blair or anybody is doing in their business or in their kitchen, okay? I'm only in control of my own. And you can talk to me about it. You can cry to me about it. You can yell at me about it. I'm here for it. I will listen. I will do what you need me to do, but I cannot control it. I cannot come to you. Like people come to me and say, I really want this. And I'm like, okay, well, did you do this, this, and this today? No, it's been a really busy day. My daughter didn't take a nap and blah, blah, blah. All I hear is noise. I'm sorry. I love you, but I am hearing noise. Lots of excuses. If you're still stuck where your daughter not taking a nap prevents you from doing a single thing in your business, then you're not at this stage yet. You're going to have to go back and rethink what you really want to achieve. I'm not here to say that your daughter is not more important than this business. You know me better than that. I would never, ever say that. But what I'm saying is, if this business is as important as you say it is, if you want the things that you say you want as bad as you say you want them, then you're going to make time for it. Because I guarantee you're making time to straighten your hair even though you got nowhere to go. You're making time to scroll Facebook to see what all the other Karens are out there bitching about. You've got time to watch TikTok videos. Holy cow. So here at the beach, we actually have to watch commercials because it's a real TV, not a smart TV, and it's not just Netflix. And I am so hooked that during commercials, I'm watching TikTok. Come on now, like ridiculous, right? You've got to start doing it. You're really good about thinking about it, wishing for it, dreaming for it, maybe even prepping for it. Maybe you get your stuff together and you make a schedule, but actually implementing the schedule is not happening. You find any excuse to avoid that action. The fifth stage of change is maintenance. So we know by working with our clients, the hardest thing about what we do, the hardest thing about taking care of yourself is getting started. Once you're started, it is actually pretty hard to fall off the wagon because you just get into this routine where you're doing things out of habit. You're doing them just because it's what you do. You don't even have to put a lot of thought into it. That's maintenance mode. That's where I want to be, in maintenance mode. I don't like stages 1 through 4. Nobody does. It sucks. It sucks to break the bad habits and instill the discipline and do the thing you got to do in order to achieve what you want to achieve, no matter what it is, okay? Maybe it's working on your marriage. It sucks. There's going to be pain points every step of the way. But then you get to this point where I have a healthy, happy marriage. I'm in a loving relationship. Now all I got to do is maintain that. And that's where it becomes so easy, because after you've done the hard work, saying I love you every morning and every night becomes maintenance, and that's easy. That's a habit. Working your business, inviting is really hard when you haven't shown up for a couple months. Yes. Once you start showing up every single day, all those conversations are happening organically. Inviting is easy when you're talking to people every day. Yeah, hearing no can still be hard, but if you're having new conversations popping up every single day simply because you're showing up, then inviting isn't as hard. Inviting becomes maintenance. Doing my business activity tracker is maintenance for me. I do not go to bed at night unless it's a Saturday. I've told you in the past, I don't work on Saturdays usually. I don't go to bed at night without doing the bare minimum on my business activity tracker. Getting my workout in is maintenance at this point. Give me a workout calendar and I'll check every single day off. It may not always happen at 6 a.m. It may happen at 2:30 in the afternoon some days, but it's going to happen. That to me is maintenance. Now, stage 6 of change is the stage we want to try to avoid. This is why it is so important, and we've stopped talking about this a little bit, and I, for one, need it. So I'm going to put this out there, and I want to challenge you to get this right in your life, whether you need it in your personal life, in your faith, in your marriage, in your business, however you need it. You need to find someone who loves you enough to say, Lindsay, get it together. You are doing things that are self-destructive right now. Get it together. Blair, get it together. You are spending way too much time on things that don't matter. You need someone to check in with you and say, did you do this, this, and this today? Carissa and Jen both have volume goals. I asked them today, how's your volume? We talked about volume last week. You have to have a level of accountability. I don't care how long you've been coaching. I don't care if you're at your goal weight. I don't care if you've lost it and gained it all back and you're starting all over again. I don't care if you can run 17 miles or if you can only run for 17 minutes. What I care about is everybody needs it. If nothing else, for our mindset. And when our mind is right, we can do whatever we need to do to make stuff happen. The 6th step is the relapse step, because at some point, something hiccups. Coronavirus is a hiccup. This is not forever, okay? Yeah, it's different. It's never going back to the way it was. Normal is getting a new definition right now, and we are all rolling with the punches. However, the way things are in this moment will not last forever. I'm sure that most of you are witnessing that already by your states going into phase 1 and phase 2. Some things are starting to go back to normal, or not back to normal, to a new normal. They don't feel so scary right now. When you hit a hiccup or when you hit a bump and you relapse, it is really, really, really important that you don't hate yourself because you tripped or stumbled. You know, we all do it. We all do it. I mean, if you think about your life, I'm sure that there have been times in your life where you are reading your Bible daily, going to church every Sunday, and walking the walk, praying every night, and then something happens in your life that makes you question that, and you stop attending church, or you don't pick up your Bible for a long time. Does that mean that because you tripped up, you never pick it up again? Heck no. You get back on the wagon. So if it's with your nutrition, let's say for a long time you followed UPF exactly the way you were supposed to, and then with this quarantine, you've gone through like 7 packages of Oreos since quarantine started. Stop buying the damn Oreos and get back on track. Like, you recognize what you're doing or not doing, stop it. Relapses happen, but it's a relapse. It is not, like a bomb exploding. You just get back up and you try again. No one's expecting you to be perfect. If you were really good and diligent about building your business, and then you moved or you started a new job or you had a baby or coronavirus happened and business has gone to the wayside because you're still trying to figure out, even after 7 weeks, how to parent, work, and teach your kids from home, it's okay. But don't allow yourself to reside in the relapse. You can rest, you can catch your breath, you can pick yourself up and dust yourself off, but you can't just stay there forever, because this is not forever. You have to do something. So just to recall, the stages of change are the pre-contemplation stage, where you're like seeing other people doing it, wishing you could do the same thing. Second stage is contemplation. You start to think, okay, if I was to do this, what would I want to be working for? What avenue might I take? Or what would my goal be? In the preparation stage, you've taken what you've thought about, you've put it down on paper, and you come up with an action plan. You're figuring out some way to make it happen. In the action stage, you're doing it. This is the stage we all get hung up on. We do 1, 2, and 3 real well. Some of us do 1 and 2 like professionals. Like we're constantly looking at other people wishing we could have what they have. And that's a bunch of bull cocky, I'm sorry. But with the 4th stage, with the action stage, you actually have to do something. And that's scary because you might fall on your face. But you've got a whole bunch of people here to help pick you up and dust you off and try again. I'm not going to lie to you. It is super embarrassing for me to admit that I gained so much weight on quarantine, and I'm a coach and I'm helping people lose weight and get in shape and take care of their bodies. But that was my relapse. It's time for me to go back through these stages of change because now my environment has changed. I can only control what I can control. Then there's the maintenance stage. This is the stage we like to live in. This is the stage where things don't feel so much like work. And then, of course, that relapse stage. One of the other things that Keisha said in that call was, do the thing you feel called to do and let people judge you. Screw them. It doesn't matter what they think, what they say. It doesn't matter if you fall on your face and they laugh at you behind your back. I actually made a comment to someone that is a client of mine about the fact that sometimes I feel like a fraud a little bit because I'm struggling right now so much with nutrition and I know how to do it. And it's really hard for me to just be open and honest about that because I feel like people are saying, well, look at Lindsay. She's supposed to be a coach and she's been sharing all this stuff on social media for all these years. And look at her. She can't even fit into her pants right now. That's hard for me. And she was like, Lindsay, that makes you real. That makes you relatable. Like that makes me feel it like it's okay to be human and not perfect because you're experiencing the same things I'm experiencing. And I needed to hear that. Now, it doesn't mean I can just let myself stay here. And maybe it doesn't apply to you in that same nutrition aspect. Maybe it needs to be your business aspect, or whatever it is that you're working through right now. But you need to recognize that our mess is our message. Our story is given to us so that we can tell it so that other people don't feel alone. I have been connected with so many women who are going through separation or considering separation because I shared a little bit of my story because I don't want them to feel alone. This the same, we have to be willing to share our struggles and not worry about what people are saying or laughing at or poking fun at behind our back because this is our calling. This is something we feel so strongly about that we feel we need, like we have this thing that we're supposed to be doing with this business, impacting other people's lives. And so if we just don't do those things because we don't want people to judge us, we're missing out on so many relationships and so many opportunities to really touch somebody and reach them. I'm looking here. Jen says that Teamsy has really helped get her on track with her business. I will say Jen and Carissa have been extremely consistent and are really motivating me to make sure I'm doing everything I need to be doing as well. Yeah, does anyone have anything else they want to add? I know I went a little bit over our time and I want to be respectful of it, especially since it's Monday. Okay, let me stop recording.